Hi, everybody. We're hoping you're well today. I'm Judy, and Sandy and Sara. Today, we wanted to talk about something a little different, mindful relaxation. And I know Sandy's got a take on it. This is her topic today. I watched a program by a Harvard psychologist last night, and he describes mindfulness in a way I have not heard before. He says it's the awareness of our present experience with acceptance.
Love that.
I hadn't heard the with acceptance part, and that's pretty hard for us humans because most of the time we're thinking about the past or the future. And a lot of the time we're hoping that our current situation changes to that situation, the desired situation, or we've got something good going on and we don't want that to change to a bad thing. So this is the human dilemma, and I love the practice of mindfulness, which I learned through meditation, which in the Qigong practice that I teach starts with deepening your breath and just focusing on your breath. Focusing on it traveling through your lungs, through your throat, through your nose, and then back again. And what happens is, our mind wants to do all these things. It's used to being active and, accomplishing things for us and worrying and hoping, again, for all these different things to change. But the practice of just breathing and being present to our own situation. In fact, this doctor was talking about how he was teaching it to other doctors because he thought it was so important that we're present with our patients instead of, looking at how and then looking at the chart and going, well, and then all the, residents going, you need to do this, this, and that. They don't have a great bedside manner, some doctors. So it was a practice of teaching, being with the person, because that's our number one need as humans, is to be seen and be heard. And especially if you're hurting, in the hospital or just hurting, because you don't have a lot of self-esteem. There was one other thing I wanted to read you. John Kabat-Zinn has done a lot of mindfulness work, and he says mindfulness or meditation is not so much about ending our thoughts, but about, you've said this before, both of you, about changing our relationship to our thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite lovely, to be more compassionate as our mind jumps around. And this one Buddhist nun I was watching a TED Talk with, she said, just focus on peaceful, positive imagery, or for me, again, it's puppies. Then I can relax more easily. One of you guys have some ideas?
Yeah, well, I think that's important, and I think so powerful, like accepting how you are right now, where you feel right now. And I think mindfulness is something which is a skill. I think it's not easy to do.
Absolutely.
I know the first time I really started looking into mindfulness and meditation, I felt like, gosh, this is weird. I didn't hear people do it that much. This was about 10 years ago. I didn't hear people do it that much. And for me, it's something which, because I was a chronic overthinker, is something which really, really helped me in so many ways. And how many of us are, how many of us are either worrying about the past or worrying about the future? So I think that, really remembering and trying to harness this skill of being present is a game changer for how we think and how we feel. And, it's a skill, being self-aware is a skill, because we live our lives habitually on autopilot. So to stop and be present, it's something which we need to learn. But I think it's important, definitely. Sandy, what do you think?
Well, I look at mindfulness as being able to be in the present moment with acceptance and without judgment. And I believe that it's important to use all of our senses when we're in mindfulness. And when you think about relaxation, my thing is, everybody automatically goes to meditation. Well, you don't have to actually meditate to relax. And what I do with my clients at the beginning of every session is we practice the 3-5-7 method of breathing so that they can focus on what we're going to do and they're going to be focused for the session. But I taught mindful relaxation. I said, you go outside, or you can be inside if you want, if it's cold like at Judy's right now. But, you want to be able to sit down and use your senses. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? If thoughts pop in your mind, you should be able to gently push them out and say, no, go away, and hear the things that are going on and just look at it and take it in. And that actually releases tension and lets you relax. People get so tied up in, I got to sit like this and I've got to have my hands a certain way. Not just be, just let yourself be and listen, look and hear. It's amazing what I love the quote, the quieter you become, the more you hear.
That's so true, isn't it?
And it's so interesting when I see it in the airport sometimes when I'm traveling, they're sitting in their thing and you can tell they're not like looking at you, but they're deep inside of themselves and doing something, meditating, and they look like they're just sitting there. And for you to be truly, truly in the moment, you have to be free and clear and not worried about what everybody else is doing. You just have to let yourself just be. And I think a lot of people get so tied up in what mindfulness is instead of doing it.
It's almost like an open eye meditation, really, which I have found to be much harder until I, again, like anything, just started practicing it. How are my lungs expanding in the moment, and hearing your dogs bark earlier and hearing the wind blowing on the window and feeling the heat coming from the floor and looking at you guys and still feeling strong in my core abs because I just did a workout, things like that. You're paying attention with all your senses. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so remarkable. Actually, there's a bucket of benefits this guy talks about. Accepting our situation as it is, right there, major benefit, right? Instead of fighting it all the time. Savoring rich moments. Wow. Helps us not be so self-absorbed. We start to connect with nature and our patients or our clients. Can see more clearly. We're less judgmental of ourselves and others, like you just said, Sandy.
Judgment's big, isn't it?
Yeah. Not taking things personally.
Yeah.
If somebody says something that hurts us, it's their struggle that they're broadcasting out, but we don't have to take it on.
Yeah.
We don't act as much on our urges. How about that?
Yeah.
It's no longer about what we want or what we need. It's more about what we are.
What we are. Brilliant. Some health benefits, changes the structure and the function of our brain as well.
One of my favorite things to do is watch my grandchildren play. And when you are watching little children and the way they interact, and you kind of listen to the giggles and you see that happiness and the pure joy, it's kind of like how can there be any trouble in the world when you're watching something like that? But you have to truly be open and not go, oh my God, they're going to get hurt. Oh my God, what are they going to do? You just have to sit there and let it act out like a play.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so true. I just want to make a quick point that if somebody, really struggles with low self-esteem and confidence, actually sitting still may be an intimidating, scary thing, because then you're sitting still with the negative thoughts, the negative feelings, and that may put people off mindfulness, being still. And I think, as you said earlier, Judy, judgment is a really, really important thing to remember. If you are feeling like, I don't want to sit with my negative thoughts, I want to try and think about, do you know what I mean, the future, I want to not be present, because present, I'm not feeling good, and that may be intimidating, but definitely trying to, release the judgment and observe the thoughts, but try to disassociate with them emotionally.
Observe them. Yeah.
Just observe them. Yeah. And, meditation is obviously one way for mindfulness, and it's just really the silence between two thoughts, isn't it? But it's a skill, and that has so many benefits. So,
and we deserve it. We deserve that.
Yeah.
It can be hard to be with the negativity of the negative thoughts.
Yeah.
You can tap them out. You can go for a run and then sit still. All these things help because everybody, we all have been there. This is the human condition, but we deserve this kindness and this self-kindness, and we are here for you.
It helps you sleep.
Know that.
It helps you sleep too. If you do a little bit of mindfulness right before, about 15, 20 minutes before you go to bed,
yeah,
it'll help you sleep because your mind's not so active.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. Turn off the TV, all the
no electronics after a certain time. Exactly.
And make it a habit. We need habits, and we need healthy habits. This is one. So make it a habit, even if you just practice mindfulness for 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. Make it a healthy habit, and the more you do it, the more you're going to accept it as part of your routine, and it's going to become more comfortable. So stick with it as well. Be patient.
Exactly.
Yeah, we should have a course on mindfulness.
Yeah.
And maybe support around it, just even 5 minutes at a time to get into the habit, because it helps to have somebody guide you too.
Yeah.
There's a thought.
Thank
you. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. See you next time. Keep us posted on how you're doing.
Bye.
Bye.